Alrighty, so our essential question for today is, how can focus note taking support my current and future success? Okay, so more accurately, probably a better way of phrasing that question is, how do we take focus notes? Okay, because certainly we did do a lot of discussion about how that process, how knowing how to take notes is important to your future, but it is the objective. What we're trying to accomplish this week is to teach you how to take focus notes. And so we did also spend quite a bit of time with this element here of learning about each other. On Thursday or Friday, we're going to have or I should say on Thursday or on Monday, we're going to have a Kahoot where I quiz you over what you know about everybody else in the class. So you use the About Us slides that's in the classroom in order to study and prepare for that quiz. Okay, and so then we've got our introduction to focus notes. So we talked about this KWL chart. And so in the KWL chart, you're going to tell me what you already know about taking focus notes. Then you're going to consider, what do you want to know? Okay. So basically setting a couple of goals for yourself. And then right here, we will complete that later in the week. And that is where you will tell me what you learned in the end. What did you end up learning? Okay. Then we talked about the fact that there's going to be multiple different purposes for taking notes. Okay. We've got personal, academic, and professional. And then using the Padlet, we tried to come up with some examples, right? So for personal, you would want to take notes, like if you're trying to make a big purchase, right, you're going to make a big purchase, you're going to buy a car, you're going to buy a home, you want to take notes on that to be sure that you're going to want to take notes on that. Then, of course, academic, that's the key setting when it comes to taking notes, right? Preparing for a test, doing a reading, listening to a lecture, all those things you're going to want to take notes on. And then lastly, professional. Learning is a lifelong endeavor. So certainly once you graduate from college and you go into the workforce, there may be multiple instances where they're like, hey, Kayla, you're so freaking smart. We want you to do this new job. We want to send you to be retrained in something else. And you're going to want to use the focus note taking process for that. Matter of fact, I was just talking with a friend of mine who needed to study because he was being retrained in the Air Force. And he was like, Mr. Whitney, I've known him since I was in high school. So it's kind of a joke, him calling me Mr. Whitney, but he asked me, what can I do to help myself study? And I told him exactly the sort of thing that you're going to learn in this process. Okay. So now that we know those are kind of the purposes, that's the importance when it comes to focus notes. Where do we begin right here? How do we begin? Well, this is how we begin. We need to establish a purpose and objective for taking notes. Okay. So that involves writing an essential question. Okay. And then you're going to select the best format for notes, be that 3-column notes, graphic organizers, Cornell notes, or mind maps. You choose which one you think is going to fit best with your essential question. Then you actually take the notes. So we had a little bit of practice here on coming up with essential questions. But the reminder that I had for you is that you always have to have an essential question. The essential question is the most important part. It begins and ends with the essential question. The beginning is deciding what that essential question is going to be. doing that process, and then it ends with your summary, right? With you summarizing your notes. Then we come down here. This is all, I'm not going to talk about this too much. Instead, I'm going to use this metaphor. Okay, so taking notes is like picking and choosing your favorites at a buffet. You know, you ever been to a buffet and they've got this whole line of different foods, things you can choose from, etc. You know, I know that every wedding I've been to, they always have a big buffet, right? And so when you go there, you want to decide, am I choosing, you know, my favorites, or am I choosing what's healthy? Okay, so you can think of that as your essential question, right? You're going to decide, am I going to eat healthily today, or am I just going to eat all of my favorite foods? Okay, so that's like choosing your essential question. And then taking your notes is like sitting there at the buffet and being like, okay, this is healthy. This is healthy. That's not healthy. I don't want to take that. Or this is my favorite food. This is my favorite food. That's what I'll put on my plate. Well, it's the same thing when you're reading. Okay. You've got your essential question. You're reading through it. Okay. You're going to be like, ooh, hey, that relates to the essential question. I'm going to put that on my plate. I'm going to put that in my notes. Right. So that's how it's like a buffet. You're choosing what relates to your essential question and putting that on your plate / notes. Okay. So this assignment here has videos explaining what to do. That's your assignment. Told you how to do the KWL chart. There you go. That's what you missed. Sorry we had to miss you. I hope everything's all right.